Welcome into this week's edition of the Recruiting Roundup, powered by Rock and Refuel. Varsity Scout.com's Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen. We bring the latest in Arizona high school football recruiting year-round. It's kind of the off-season, if you will, of recruiting, but there's still a lot of offers coming in. We'll get to some of those for some of the top players in the 2016 class. But before then, Jason, some commitments from the 2015 class even after signing day, starting with a very talented player out at Chandler.
Yeah, I like Jeray Mills, their safety. Was a guy that didn't get a ton of playing time in that talented secondary at Chandler as a junior. Stepped in and had a tremendous senior season. His brother Lloyd is an all-conference player at San Diego State. Jeray is going to also end up playing college football. He committed to Adams State.
And then further on the east side, Campo Verde has a talented player that made a commitment as well.
Yeah, their linebacker, Marcus Valval, he committed to the University of San Diego, and that program also did very well. Staying on the east side, Creighton Morfitt, the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame Prep, also committed there as well.
And Notre Dame Prep has had a lot of very talented offensive linemen come out of there over the years. Creighton Morfitt, the most recent of that fraternity. Getting to some of the offers now for the 2016 class. All five of these players, actually there's one of the 2017 class as well, but all five of these players are four-star players on Scout.com. Jason, I'm going to give you a player. You're going to give me the latest offers and why these guys are four-star guys, starting with Hamilton's Garrett Rand.
So the latest offers for Rand are Boston College and Stanford. I've gone on and on about how big players that have good grades get recruited, which is, obviously with Rand. He's a very talented player, been playing on varsity since he was a freshman at Hamilton, which is very, very good accomplishment in itself. But then you look at Rand, he has the bench press record at Hamilton, which he boasts at over 500 pounds, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's a big, thick, physical kid. Good, also can rush the passer, defensive tackle, big guy. And that's the reason right there that he's a four-star prospect.
Connor Murphy, another big, strong guy over at Brophy, has a couple new offers and also why he's a four-star.
Yeah, so you're looking at his new offer. It comes from the University of Oregon. Big offer right there. But again, you look at a guy like Connor. He's 6'7" and he weighs 250 pounds. And you look at that, and these college coaches drool over that kind of being able to mold that kind of clay because he could play defensive end. The Ducks love those big defensive linemen. Look at their guys. This past year with DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead.
It seems like it's a requirement for them to be 6'5" plus at that position with the Ducks.
That's exactly what they're looking for. The guys that are long and can stretch the field. Now, if it doesn't work out on the defensive side of the ball, I think Connor could end up being a very good offensive tackle. He's 6'7" now. He's only going to get bigger. He's only going to be 290 before it's all said and done. So maybe offensive tackle in the future.
Byron Murphy out at Saguaro is definitely one of the most recruited players in this class out of Arizona.
Yeah, he's ranked my #1 player in the 2016 class. He had a handful of offers. He got Florida State, he got Oklahoma, he got Hawaii, and he got Kansas. He has the most offers of any player in this class. He has 19 now. You look at this guy, he's a long corner, so those guys get heavily recruited. Where you're talking about he's over 6 feet tall and he can run. He's a dynamic player on the offensive side of the ball. He had over 1,000 yards receiving. He's a guy that I think could play on either side of the ball in college, but I think his upside is going to be at corner.
Nikhil Harry, they were former teammates out at Marcos. Both of them transferred before last season. Murphy to Saguaro, Nikhil Harry to Chandler. He picked up a new offer, and also why is he a four-star?
Yeah, you look at him, he's blown up. Got the offer from the University of Arizona, his most recent, but Texas A&M offered him not too long ago. He's at 8 offers now. A guy that's 6'4", weighs 210 pounds, is a big physical freak, plays mostly wide receiver, but I saw him last spring playing some defensive back, and I think he has upside as a free safety as well because of that length, being able to play and cover that back half of the field. You look at him, though, too, a guy that averaged almost 30 yards a catch, had a bunch of touchdowns in that very explosive Chandler offense. To me, he's a no-brainer prospect.
And I say this every time we talk about him, but it blew me away his ability to block on the outside as well. That was huge for that talented Chandler team that won a state championship. The last player we want to mention, the lone 2017 player on this list, also a four-star guy, Kaden Lyles, also at Saguaro, his teammates with Byron Murphy.
Yeah, Kansas offered Murphy. They came in and offered Lyles as well. He's in the double-digit offers. Again, offensive linemen, big kids get recruited. Lyles obviously talented. He's 6'3" and weighs over 300 pounds. Been starting and an all-conference player on Saguaro's offensive line since he was a freshman. you don't see that very often. It's tough for big kids, especially offensive linemen, to go in and start and make an impact as a freshman. That's exactly what Lyles did. He plays right tackle now, so he shows that he has some athletic ability. His future is going to be at guard at the next level unless he hits a growth spurt and gets to 6'6", which probably isn't going to happen over the next 2 years. But so look for him to move inside and play guard, but he's a big, physical road grader.
And he's been a very talented big player for the SaberCats on the defensive line, too, also defending state champions. That's it for this week's edition of the Recruiting Roundup. Again, that's Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen. Recruiting Roundup powered by Rock and Refuel Varsity on Sports360AZ.com.